Hello everybody! Welcome back to another exciting Terps Esports broadcast. Live from College Park, my name is Ryan.
And I'm Bree. We are so excited to have you guys back tonight for an amazing Valorant match from our premier team.
Before we jump into the Valorant action though, we've got a quick announcement about an exciting tournament coming up. This weekend, from Friday, April 10th through Sunday, April 12th, Terps Esports is heading over to George Mason University for the annual Bloom LAN. We'll have our League of Legends Premier, Valorant Premier, and Overwatch Academy teams all competing, so it's going to be a huge weekend for Terps Esports.
And if you're in the area, attendance is open. Parking is free, so you can stop by, support the teams in person, and be part of the action. And if you can't make it in person, don't worry, we've got you covered. We'll be keeping an eye on the GMU Twitch stream, and updates will be going out in the Terps Esports Discord. So whenever the Terps go live, especially on Saturday and Sunday, make sure you keep an eye out. And one last thing before we get into the game, I promise guys, we here at Terps Esports would like to take a moment to recognize someone behind the scenes. Today marks her last day in the studio as our broadcast assistant. Without further ado, we would like to celebrate the one and only Jan. Woo! Jan has played a key role in assisting our broadcast director CJ by keeping things running smoothly during each and every stream. She shows up prepared, she stays focused, and handles pressure with control. Her work shaped how we run broadcasts today, and her impact reaches beyond on what you see on stream. Jan is going to be moving on to bigger things, but as she accepted an amazing full-time offer job. We are so proud of her and thankful for the time, effort, and care she's given to Terps Esports.
Yeah, now, moving on to the Valorant tonight. The Valorant Premier team has advanced the PlayVS playoffs and is facing off against Northwood University in the round of 16. In the regular season round-robin stage, the Terps finished number 1 in the East 2 Conference with a record of 8-1, and they're looking to keep up their winning streak in tonight's matchup.
But Northwood isn't coming in quietly. They've proven they can hang with top competition, being number 4 in the East 1 Conference, going 7-2. Historically as well, they are heavy hitters, having won multiple collegiate titles. With playoffs pressure in full effect, every round is going to matter, every clutch could swing momentum, and both teams know there's no room for mistakes. So lock in and get ready. If the Terps want to stay on top, they're going to have to earn it right here, right now. Let's get into the action.
Yeah, let's start with the rules of your typical Valorant match. If you've never played the game before, Valorant is an objective-based FPS game where teams of 5 players compete in 2 12-round cycles against each other. The main objectives of the game are to plant the spike, defend the spike, manage economies, and create strategic plans to outsmart your opponents and take the win.
It's finally time for us to introduce you to the members of the team and take a look at the stats they've been farming all season long, making it look way too easy. These stats show how they win rounds, so you'll see high ACS, strong ADR, and a solid KD. Each player knows their role and plays it well. So now, let's meet the players and break down what they're bringing to the table tonight.
Starting off strong, we have the team's duelist, Yex. When it comes to opening fights, this guy is the difference maker. He's not afraid to take the first peek, dash in, and make space for the team when it matters most. If he gets hot early, the Terps could be unstoppable tonight. He has an impressive ACS of 225, an ADR of 149, and a KD of a 1.37.
Now we have the team's controller, ZK1. He's coming in with an ACS of 272, an ADR of 176, and a KD of 1.2. ZK1 is responsible for the pace of every round. Every smoke he places and every angle he holds gives his team control and confidence. He shapes the battlefield so the others can take on their fights.
Next up, we have our initiator, Sind. Whether he's using his abilities to gather information, disrupting enemies, or setting up for aggressive pushes, he's the one always making sure that the Terps are always one step ahead. He's got an ACS of 171, an ADR of 112, and a KD of 1.06. Next, we have our team's flex player, Jinho. He is a highly versatile player who will adapt to the team's needs and switch to different agents and roles as needed. He's got an ACS of 218, an ADR of 145, and a KD of 1.44. He's the glue that holds this roster together, adapting to whatever role or agent the team needs.
Last but certainly not least, we have Moose as the team's sentinel. You might want to rotate out if you catch him on the site you're pushing. As a sentinel, he's the protector and the anchor as he locks down the site and watches for flank. Sometimes you'll even catch him lurking. Mess with the Moose and you'll get the antlers. He's coming in with an ACS of 253, an ADR of 172, and a KD of 1.6. Moose is also one of the few OGs of our program. He's been interviewed by the PlayVS League, and now he's about to be interviewed by me. Everyone welcome Moose to the studio. Woohoo! Hey Moose, what's up? Thank you for coming today. Today is the first day of the PlayVS playoffs. How is the team feeling going into playoffs, especially with it being a single elimination bracket?
I think the fact that it's single elimination is a little, sad because we love to play, but we're excited. Playoffs is always a different game, and it's just more fun.
That doesn't change like the vibe or anything? Stakes don't seem to be too high for you guys, or how is it?
Just have fun is our main goal when we're coming to play.
I love that. So today you guys are playing against Northwood University, a very decorated collegiate Valorant team. Will this affect the way the Terps play, or do you think this will keep our calm tonight?
I think we'll play normally. We've played a couple of decent teams in the collegiate scene, and I feel like we've had a great time every time.
Do you guys kind of like do your own research like on your own before, like look at Valorant Tracker and see like how the players are, or? Not
really. I just show up, make sure we know our game plan, and just have fun together.
Okay, awesome. And with the new patch, the map pool has shifted with Abyss and Corrode going out and Fracture and Lotus coming back in. How do you think this change will affect the strengths of the Terps map pool?
I think we're definitely really solid at Lotus. We all hate Fracture though.
Valid.
So that's our new insta ban now. So I think that'll be a fun new way to play.
Okay, cool. So, and again with the new patch, we have a new agent, Mix. What are your thoughts on him, and how do you think we'll see the Terps using him anytime soon? You think, maybe?
Yeah, I think he's a pretty cool character. I think his ult is pretty mid, to be honest, but definitely better than Clove. So we might see him in some new comps.
Valid. Do you have any hot takes with Mix? Like, do you think he's gonna be like the next big thing?
No,
or
I think he's just mid.
Okay.
I think he's just
it might
mid.
just be mids instead, I guess. And last but not least, the Terps are also going to be at the Bloom LAN this weekend. How are you feeling about that? And will we see the Terps take back-to-back LAN victories?
Super excited. LANs are always the best part of our collegiate experience, and I think we will hope for a victory again.
Yeah, of course. And so thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to our pre-show. And thank you, Moose, for stepping away from practicing to speak with me.
Of course.
We are going to take a little break right before we get back into the game. So sit back, relax, and don't miss the action.
They actually think they can plant the spike.
Nobody escapes. But don't run.
What did I say? Don't mess with me.
Today is not our day to shine.
I'll fight anybody. I'll fight everybody.
I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into the studio. Tonight, the Terps are taking on Northwood University. And, you know, going into tonight's match, the Terps are #1 in the East 2 conference. But this is not an easy match, Bree. I mean, Northwood University, they are, like, as you mentioned in the pre-show, they're a very decorated Valorant team, and they've won, like, a bunch of titles in the past. How do you think the Terps will match up against Northwood tonight?
I mean, you've done more research than I have, Ryan. I have seen a lot of notable titles myself, but I didn't get too nitty gritty with it. I mean, I kind of took a page out of Moose's book and kind of left it alone, maybe to not, worry myself for tonight's matchup. But they are indeed stacked, and I'm pretty sure it's mainly because of the players that they have on their team.
Yeah, I mean, right now, they have two players, at least two players that I know of, Son of Car and Alexander, who actually have played and I think are currently playing in the Tier 2, like, North American Valorant League, which is really, really cool that the Terps are, playing against players of this caliber. And I'm honestly very, very excited to see how the Terps match up because, I mean, to be honest, like, I think we're a goated team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, without a doubt.
And, I think we should probably be considered the underdogs in this match, but I think we have what it takes to win.
No, much as, as intimidating as it may sound, being so stacked going against a stacked team, this is not the Terps' first rodeo. So with that, and I mean, our players, just as, themselves, without being inside of a team, are such great, resilient players. And I feel like they genuinely may have what it takes to just kind of clean sweep it tonight. You know what I mean? And as much as, the underdogs kind of winning would be like kind of an amazing narrative, we have what it takes for sure tonight to go against them. So, we can start off strong for this playoff season. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, talking about playoffs, this is a single elimination bracket, meaning if you lose a game, I mean, you're just out. So the stakes are higher, than it's ever been for the Terps. But, I mean, if you think back to the regular season, we only lost one game.
Yes.
And before that, we were on kind of like a flawless streak. So, the Terps know what it's like to win. And, I'm hoping that they kind of carry that energy into tonight's match, into playoffs. It's a different beast. Playoffs is a different beast, but I believe in them to, keep their calm and be composed underneath all of the stress.
Yeah, and with that, I feel like because it's a little bit of a higher matchup, I feel like the Terps are going to not necessarily retaliate in a way, but they might just stick to what they know.
Yeah.
Every time we see our premier team come into the studio, they're usually playing their comfort characters. Sometimes we see some people kind of go away from what they usually play. I mean, I know sometimes Jinho ends up going on like Chamber as a flex player, but like it's kind of like not necessarily an op crutch, but like it actually genuinely helps the team, and he's having fun playing his like favorite character on top of that. So, I'm wondering if there's some like new strats that we had, how did, Coach Arjun kind of prepare us for something like this? I actually have no idea what maps we are going to be going into tonight.
Me
so
neither.
We're kind of just blinded before we go in. So I really want to know, what if somebody on the other team ends up playing mixed? Like,
that would be cool.
I can't fathom, like, such a decorated team. Like, what kind of, like, tricks do they have up their sleeve,
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, talking about, like, maps, I guess, like, this is a brand new patch, brand new map pool. Abyss and Corrode are out, and Lotus and Fracture are back in. I know that the Terps liked playing Abyss, but, they still have, like, their strong maps in, like, Haven and Vine, so I don't think the map pool changes will affect them too much, but I guess we're just going to have to see how they do tonight.
Was there any, like, map changes at all for, like, Corrode and Lotus? Like, did they touch Lotus at all?
Lotus is a little bit different. Like, on A site, they made the walls like less wall bangable, like in A3, like they put up like reinforced walls.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, but besides that, everything else is like the same. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I mean, nothing really major when it comes to like map reworks other than Breeze, but that was just like what, a patch or two ago.
Yeah.
But either way, Valorant is just such an evolving and ever-changing game. I want to bring up the change in UI. I am not a fan of the new UI at all. It's like
Dude,
Fortnite UI. I don't like it.
Don't get me started on the UI, bro. No, that's exactly what it reminds me of.
Right?
It just reminds me of like, well, I guess it is a console game now, but it reminds me a lot of like a console type of like game experience, and it's just like, why?
I mean, because like the first time I played it, like I think right when that patch released where they fix up the UI, I was like, okay, where the heck is the play? Like, where can I choose my modes? Like, why do I have to press into another square to see a bunch of other squares? I don't know. I feel like it kind of, hot take, I think it takes away the authenticity of what Valorant has to offer. But here we are. We're starting off really strong. Like you said, Ryan, Bind is one of our greatest maps here. We do have comfort picks, of course. I see ZK1 on Mix.
No way. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, this is going to be super interesting. You know, Northwood, how many mixes do you think they played against in like pro play? Like probably not that many.
No, most definitely not that many. And already starting off with a little bit of a bang here. Going into short, Yex is able to get a pick there. Unfortunately, we do end up getting traded out, losing 2 of our Terps in the process. Make it 3 of our Terps as well, already having to rotate back on to do a retake on A site here with only, what, 30 seconds almost into the game. Northwood is just pushing through already with that raise, slashing back into heaven. Moose stops that action from happening and gets that pick on that raise, but still this is a little bit of an awkward retake considering we're coming in from CT. What more is there to do? What can you do to get out of this situation?
Yeah, just has to wait out that Viper Orb as Jinho just tries to scale up U-Haul, but the time is ticking and he gets taken down.
I did not notice where that Brim was staying, and that's okay. There's a little bit of laughs happening in the studio that I was kind of taken aback just a little bit. I didn't quite think they'd kind of run through Moose's Viper wall, or I believe that was Moose's Viper wall. I know that's a wall that he usually does on defense.
Yeah, there was a mixed smoke on A short.
Oh, there was also that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I also haven't seen ZK1 play mix yet.
Yeah, it's brand new.
But he also has the skill to be playing a character like him. So I am not going to doubt him at all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Mix has that like stim / heal ability. I'm really interested to see, you know, maybe you can combine that with the Waylay.
Oh, yeah.
For some aggressive plays, I don't know. But it's going to be really interesting to see the Mix get some value here.
Yeah, starting off again with a fast and efficient push, almost efficient push there. Oh my goodness, Northwood coming in, trying to flood onto B-site out through Hookah, leaving just this Brim alone in Garden right now. It kind of stopped Northwood from coming into site, but that doesn't mean that they are all gone from site. We are going 4 against 3 so far against Northwood, and it's just silence as everybody's kind of figuring out if they should continue to execute, maybe do a little wraparound, spin the block a little bit, and come in through Garden, it looks like. But they look very confident to continue taking on this site, especially as Yexus gets that pick on that Brim there in Garden.
Yeah, 4 versus 2 now on the Eco as well, and the Terps, they really want to get this second round, this Thrifty onto the board, but both of the Northwood players are going to take this teleporter.
And nobody is really kind of watching on the A site just yet. I mean, the Terps already know where these players are landed. Moose has a Phantom. I did not notice that Moose has a Phantom, but they're kind of low here. 2 of our Terps already low. I hope Yexus is able to get this pick on that Viper. Does so flawlessly, making it his 3rd pick of this round. Can he make it 4? Unfortunately not. Rip Benji on that Sky, getting a nasty headshot on Yexus there. Another nasty headshot on Moose. Jinho, hopefully you do not lose this. Kind of bombard him in the showers. Not quite sure what to do, but that Sky blind might come out in a second.
No way. Jinho, no! And he sticks the bomb to take the Terps over the line. It doesn't even matter that he died. And the Terps get that Thrifty, and just, I'm stunned. I'm stunned.
With Phantom in hand, by the way.
Yeah.
With Phantom. First of all, okay, I'm assuming the Phantom came from that little bonus round that Northwood had going on there. But Real gamers stick. I have always said this on every single stream. Real gamers stick.
No, pros don't fake, and I think
all.
that's actually exactly like exemplifies like a team like Northwood, right? They expect these players to like tap the bomb because that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh yeah, every time.
But no, Jinho just big brains it and just sticks it all the way through. And now the Terps, they're the ones with the weapons, and Northwood are put on the back foot.
Literally the back burner as they're kind of scraping by with their economy right now and their setup already going into the third round, not looking so hot when it comes to their weapon choices, but what more can you do when you lose, the second pistol round? It's always like a fight with economy there. All right, it already looks like we know that Northwood is hanging out outside of Garden, but I'm not quite sure if we know that they're hanging on to Hookah. It's looking a little reminiscent of last round, already having a Sky ult detonated, flying into the site, blinded already. Guns blazing. ZK1 able to get a pick on that Viper and is kind of fighting for his life on backside here. 3 picks on our Terps so far, leaving it just to Yexus as they're trying to flood into CT a little bit. Yexus getting a pick in that smoke. Not quite sure how he got that, but that's just how Yexus rolls. Hopefully he does not run into this Brim, and does so unfortunately, but what more can you do? And that's okay. We are 1-2 against Northwood tonight.
Yeah, the Brimstone just playing really sneakily in that smoke, and Yex just doesn't see him. But yeah, really unfortunate round. Northwood claps back with a kind of a thrifty of their own, but they did have, I believe, like a Vandal or a Phantom or something. But yeah, that's going to hurt the Terps economy though. Everyone, has a pistol, and now like Northwood, they're in control. Rip Benji, 6-0 right now. He's looking kind of unstoppable.
Yeah, their Sky is actually pretty powerful. I mean, even though, they kind of just let Jinho diffuse the spike like it was nothing, all is well. That, doesn't mean much. Oh my goodness, Ray's just flying into the air. Jinho knows that Lambs is kind of flooded, but no worries. He's able to get a pick there, but does get traded off in the process. Again, Terps are falling like flies, leaving only 2 Terps having to do an awkward retake here from CT. Northwood able to get onto site flawlessly within like the first 30 seconds of the round almost. CK1 also does lose his life in the process, but what more can you do when it comes to a save round? I mean, you can't always expect a thrifty, but look at how they're expecting Yexus here, and unfortunately we do lose that round yet again. It's okay, Yexus, it's just frozen in time.
Yeah, my face when we lose the round.
Me wins.
Me win. Yeah, I mean it was the expected result. Northwood there just bombarding onto that A site. Ray satcheling over the truck into Lamps there. Really not much you can do.
It's just so fast. And I mean, I know the Terps know how to enter fast because they themselves, when it comes to attacking, they are pretty quick with their site executions. But I don't know, something about Northwood is just so clean, I guess you could say. It's kind of concise in a way. Like, I mean, not saying we're not able to counter it, but it's just too fast for us to even try and counter it almost.
Yeah, and speaking of fast, look at this. Northwood picking up the pace once again.
Yeah, clearing all of this space almost. I mean, we're not on site just yet, but look at how close everybody is. Throwing in all these utilities, already using that Brim ult as well, and it unfortunately does take out Moose in the process. Jinho pulling out that chamber op as he does. Was able to get a pick, but unfortunately did get traded off yet again. And now we're kind of just at a standstill, not necessarily, but there's just so much happening onto this site. Northwood is bombarded, and the Terps are confined to doing another retake yet again. Ferbza doing a crazy kind of just spray transfer, not necessarily a spray transfer, but got the last 2 Terps out of the picture like it was nothing. And unfortunately, us Terps are back to the drawing board with our economy.
Yeah, and just another rough round for the Terps there. Moose getting Brim ulted backside. I mean, he tried to run away, he tried to escape, but he was met with phantom bullets in his body. And now look at Northwood. The ISO has his ult ready. Raze has their ult ready as well, and this is just gonna be another full push onto the A side. But Jinho does actually get Alexander there.
And what I'm so scared about is this Raze. Son of Car on Raze is actually very versatile, very fast, and kind of flies around just as Yex's does. So I'm a little worried that Yex didn't decide to go Raze this time on Vine. But either way, Waylay is a character I love to see him on. Again, just blood falling onto the ground here as A-Site is again infiltrated by Northwood, leaving us to just such awkward retake situations there. Sin left with a Sheriff and a Dream. And again, snowball effect happens, especially on pistol rounds. You hate to see it, but unfortunately, it's just so hard to get back up after you lose like a pistol round or two in a row. It just does not help.
Yeah, for sure. And we do have a timeout coming out from the Terps, I presume. You know, if there was ever a time to take a timeout, now would be it. I feel like Northwood have won too many rounds in a row, and this round is crucial, right? If they lose this round, they're probably going to lose the next round as well. And by then, your half is looking pretty disastrous. So we have Coach Arjun right now trying to talk to the Terps, trying to figure out what adjustments we can make in order to, you know, kind of counter this Northwood aggression.
And I don't know, is it just me, but these rounds are kind of flying by. I didn't consider that we were already, what, like on the 5th round? Are we 4th or 5th round? But either way, that kind of just shows how fast Northwood is when it comes to executing these sites. It kind of just happens within like what, the first 45 seconds of the round, they already have spike planted. I think the only way to really kind of go against the grain is just kind of playing trollish, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't know, sometimes when you start playing like trolly on game, like it kind of tilts your teammates.
Sometimes you have to be cringe.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be cringe to get the dub.
Sometimes you have to be cringe. And that's okay, you know?
And that's fine.
It's in the game for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, Valorant wouldn't be Valorant without
cringe.
Cringe and trolls. I mean, look at them already just running up onto B here. I mean, maybe the Terps can kind of set up themselves onto B, kind of preventing them to come in. Already a pick from Son of Car getting Sin, and then Moose kind of doing a little bit of a trade there, which is looking a little better for the Terps, especially since we are 1 minute and 20 seconds into the round so far. Spike is planted, but now this is kind of a clean slate for the Terps. They can change the way that they kind of decide to do retake here, but Switch 2Z on that Brim is kind of just walking around in our tunnel here, and it's just not a good thing to see. Jinho getting a pick on his shorty, has not let go of his op just yet, but don't fret because Jinho is, Yex is even more skilled getting those 2 picks so far, and it's only left to Jinho getting that final pick on that Viper, like I said guys, with that op.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot to analyze there in that round. Jinho, of course, being the one to close the round, but I think the real like star player of that round was Yex. You know, we saw ZK1 get taken out from the flank, so that's why Yex was able to walk through elbow there, because you know they didn't think that there would be anyone behind them, because yo, we just killed your teammate and he didn't know. So everyone was focused on CT and no one was looking at Yex, and he's able to get a clean 2K, and Jinho nasty in the clutch, able to get the Terps up to their second round.
And I'm a little nervous here. Jinho is kind of placed for showers rather than a heaven play here, but that does not mean that he's not able to do so. So many smokes and so many ults getting detonated here. A Sky Cabbage also trying to catch Jinho and Moose here. ZK1 getting 2 picks, and the same time, are we able to kind of prevent Northwood from getting that plant down? It seems like they're at a standstill yet again, and Northwood's a little hesitant to continue pushing deeper onto A site.
Yeah, it's kind of like everyone's on a standstill. Moose with the judge right in the dome of the Brimstone. And though there are some trades.
Oh yeah, just leaving it left to that Jinho again with that shorty, and is never letting go of that op. That Sky hiding sneakily behind that box. Hopefully Moose is able to kind of check his corner before he decides to peek out, or maybe the Sky might peek him instead. But not to fret, we do have Jinho and Yexis left, and Sky still has to plant the spike with only 42 seconds left on the clock, but little do they know the Terps are kind of almost on lock here. Jinho yet again finishing off the round with his amazing op skills, of course.
Yeah, here we go now. The Terps are heating up. This is exactly what I expect from the Terps. Like, beautiful trade setups. ZK1 getting a beautiful 2K at the beginning of the round as well. And dude, I'm seeing the mix utility getting like actual value. The guy that was like bench, he was like stunned by one of Mix's abilities. I don't know the names yet, but
yeah, I don't
he was actually stunned, and that allowed I forgot who it was, maybe Jinho or Yex, to get that kill onto bench. So really, really interesting to see the mix get value here.
And that's what we love to see. But again, we're seeing things reminiscent to that first round we played here on Bind. Everybody on Northwood kind of bombarding. Hopefully Jinho is able to run away, but he has met his match, getting shot in the face with a Bucky. ZK1 fighting for his life here on Heaven as Northwood, again, guys, floods in. These Brim Smokes are not helping the Terps when it comes to this CT, or to this retake here. Again, ZK1 losing his life alongside Moose, just flooding into our CT, flooding into our spawn. It's just so much utility being utilized, and I don't think I've seen a team use basically their full kit at all like this.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely like running down Jinho there in U-Haul. I mean, he tried to pull out his headhunter at first, but then pulled out the shorty, and by then it was already too late. He was already dead.
Oh yeah.
But he is going to have that chamber ult. I'm assuming he's gonna pop it. Maybe look showers here. So, I mean, there is a little bit behind this buy. There's a Guardian, there's 3 Buckies, so maybe the Terps can make some magic happen.
Hopefully so. I mean, majority of the Terps are hiding there on B, kind of expecting them to come B, but they've been so comfortable pushing onto A site that Northwood has no problem coming here yet again. ZK1 having to fight the same enemy, raise onto that lamps there. Always such an awkward space to be fighting against, and navigating these Brim Smokes do not help the Terps at all, as they are confined to such limited space. Once they walk out of that smoke, they are most likely going to get their head taken off. With Spike slowly dwindling down, it kind of leaves the Terps in kind of like an awkward holding position. I mean, everybody's spread out so far. Sin attempting to go into lamps yet again, holding hands with Yexus at the same time. They both get clapped at the same time. Not looking so hot for the Terps. I mean, we only have a Guardian on Moose's end and a pity molly kill as well. Hopefully Jinho's able to get as much picks as he can. He does so with that shorty, but does lose that round.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of an eco going into that round, but yeah, just Northwood. I don't think I've seen them run a single default so far. It's just been go, go, go for them. And dude, I don't know. I would like to see the Terps, you know, maybe run some sort of aggression or set play of their own. I really liked what they did in that pistol round, and it almost caught Northwood off guard, but since then, I feel like maybe they've been playing a little bit too passive, letting Northwood go to them, and, you know.
I mean, you could only fight fire with fire so much. I mean, look at that. Imagine if they decided to go and push up against Northwood there. They would have gotten Odin, ran down, unfortunately. But, you know, they're kind of leaving A to Northwood this time. I mean, the strat is to play. Oh my gosh, Moose able to get a pick on that scary Odin being bot. And, you know, I think this is a good thing. It plays a little slow, but it allows the Terps to kind of regroup and, you know, analyze how the site is looking so far. I mean, Brim Smokes are finally gone, which kind of gives them more space to look. But now all they have to worry about is just focusing on getting Northwood out of the equation.
Yeah, but the time is ticking so low, and they still have Brimstone and Viper, and I wonder if they have their mollies, but the Terps, they're investing everything into this round.
Most definitely. Moose is able to get that pick, but they kind of learn from their mistakes by shooting into that smoke. Hopefully Jinho can at least tap it, but that could only get you so much, and just so many ults detonated, so much utility. Are they orb farming? Like, there's no way that they just have their ult points charged up like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're getting the orb showers. They're also, like, getting the plant down. They're also, like, killing, you know, getting kills.
Oh, that is true.
So, yeah, I mean, Northwood, their composition is, you know, pretty heavy in terms of the post-plant utility, right? You have the Brimstone ultimate, which you just saw, but he also has a molly, the Viper molly, Raise Nade, you know, all that type of stuff. And for the Terps, they invested so much into that round. Waylay ult, Mix ult, but yeah, nothing to show for it.
You know, I'm trying to hope that they kind of 9-3 curse here again. An iconic Raise hit again by Son of Car there, always getting somebody there. And look at how fast these Terps are falling. I mean, it's a flawless execute on Northwood's end. I will give them their flowers, but they're kind of smart with it. I mean, I think it just helps that they're good players, but I think they actually just know how to work around it. I mean, like you said, like planting bomb, you know, getting kills and taking orbs. Like, they're kind of just, I don't know. It seems like the utilities are their main thing, and then the fact that they're good is kind of supplemental, almost.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, look at the Brimstone, bro. He's 16, 3, and 12. That is an insane stat line.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, the Terps, I really, you know, I got to give them props. They did try to do something different on that last round, but just unfortunately not able to, you know, get the round win. But it is a 3-9 at the half. The Terps are now on an attack. Let's see what they can do.
And you can already recognize off the bat they aren't as quick as Northwood is, but honestly that might be a little bit of a flaw from Northwood because that how fast that Raze decided to peek out of showers. I mean, expecting to come out so fast, but kind of was bombarded by almost 3 players. Getting blinded through TP, I haven't seen that in a long time on this map, but the Terps are deciding to stick to A site, trying to get on and preventing these Northwood players from kind of bombarding them at the same time, but they're kind of giving us space, but we're just not fully into sight here. Amazing hit by Jinho and ZK1, but at what cost when Spike isn't even down yet? So we might just have to lean onto getting the rest of these Northwood players killed instead.
Yeah, a little Sky Heal coming in through from the side of Northwood. It is a 4v2, but we do have 2 players that are 1 HP, ZK1 and Yex. Both are looking a little bit fragile, but yep, Yex is there to clean up the Sky, and it's all up to the opponent Viper. But nope, Jinho cleans them up, and the Terps, they get the pistol round.
They finally get their pistol round, so let's hope that they can get the second pistol round. That's how you know you're destined for greatness for the rest of the map. And I hope we don't lose this bonus as well.
Yeah, I hope we don't lose any round.
Yeah, no, because you honestly don't know if Northwood might just force here on this second pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. You know, Northwood, you know, coming into this match as like the favorites, you know, you might see like an underdog and kind of underestimate them, right?
Oh, yeah,
so,
for sure.
you know, I wonder if that changes their playstyle at all. You know, they're just running into sites like we saw in the first half. But I'm wondering, you know, maybe the Terps will show that, you know, maybe that isn't a good idea.
Maybe it isn't. I mean, look, they're finally defaulting. We're finally seeing some default dancing here on Bind, and it's a little refreshing to see because I'm not quite sure if Northwood knows how to necessarily counter it, especially if you're showing presence on both sides. You don't really know whether you should stay planted, maybe just wrap around and flank, or maybe even just kind of push up just a little bit. You know, that's the beauty of defaulting. You don't necessarily know where this team is going.
Yeah, exactly. But they're just waiting for Northwood to come into them. And just, honestly, that was so unlucky from Sin there. He's been having a little bit of a rough map, but that is just unlucky there. But the Terps are going to be able to get that site, get that plant down. There's mollies at their feet, man.
Like, I can't fathom how much is happening here. Look at how beefed up backside is right now. Jinho was able to kind of minimize the damage there by getting rid of a Northwood player. Can he get another one? I like seeing Jinho in kind of the back lines. It kind of supports his teammates who are kind of closer on the front lines, kind of going against Northwood face to face. Jinho able to get a second one with that Outlaw. Unfortunately, we do lose 2 of our Terps at the same time. It is a 2v2. Jinho, please spray that brim. And Jinho gets a 4K on that round. Mind you, second round with an Outlaw and a little bit of a Spectre moment at the end.
Yeah, and you guys can't hear it, but here in the studio, I just heard the Terps pop off after that round win. So the Terps, they're definitely not demotivated at all. You know, they still have that energy, and if they want to make a comeback in this map, that's exactly what they're going to have to, you know, continue to bring into these next upcoming rounds, and especially this one. This is the round that honestly might decide the map here.
Especially since Northwood is forcing that by just a little bit. I like how I see the Terps doing another default here. This time, it seems like they kind of switched up their positioning on Northwood's side. Actually, no. That Raze is kind of holding onto the showers. Hopefully, we do not take the same page out of the book. We just saw 1 pixel and boom, Yex was off the screen. Sin, don't make it happen again. Sin able to take that Raze out of the equation, and now do we just sit back and relax, or do we kind of push onto this site? We don't know yet.
Yeah, and I mean, the Rays from Northwood has just been so aggressive in shower. So maybe Sin knew that and knew that he would try to re-peek and re-push, and he's rewarded for that read.
And Moose here also just kind of scoped in, watching to see if anybody enters into lamps. ZK1, I haven't seen much of ZK1 just yet, so hopefully he's able to kind of sniff these two Northwood players out on B. It gives to the Terps a little bit more space to kind of push in. I mean, he does have Jinho right next to him as well, but we do have that Viper standing on top of the box, and oh my goodness, just one pixel and everybody is just gone. Hopefully ZK1's able to do the same thing to that Viper there, just a little bit of the Viper bang maybe to kind of just get him out of the equation. Moose does get caught in that blind as well, and just Northwood is just so patient. They know that the Terps are running out of time to go ahead and plant here, so all the Terps really just have to do is kind of just get these guns, and it might just be a save route this time.
Yeah, nothing you can do there with so little time on the clock. Moose does get a little consolation prize there, but Northwood do convert that round. ZK1 actually taken out in the last seconds of that round, but 5-10, the Terps, they're still in it, but this is a very, very important round to win. If they lose this round, they will be knocked back onto an eco, I believe. And then, by then, it's match point for Northwood if they win the next two. So, the Terps, I wonder if they're going to speed it up at all.
I know, I want to see them speed it up and kind of, you know, counter Northwood. They seem very passive on their defense side, so I want to see what we can do. Yex is already starting it off harsh. Just going into lamps, trying to take as much dominance as he can. Unfortunately, we are always stopped from getting onto this main site, but we're kind of claiming a little bit more dominance here. ZK1 and Jinho at the same time getting those picks, finally picking up Spike, and hopefully we can just get that plant down. ZK1 watching Jinho's back as he's finally getting that plant in. That Brim is just kind of walking around. Hopefully ZK1 doesn't run out of bullets at the worst time. Does end up dinking him, but does not necessarily get the kill. Jinho does finish it off for him, but don't forget, he's at an awkward position here, and that Raze is going to pop out. Raze? Yex, that's Yex, guys, I'm sorry. Yex manning lamps here. Unfortunately gets picked off from what, showers? Goodness, Jinho getting 3, he gets 4 again! Guys, this guy and his op are no match for Northwood.
No, Jinho has been absolutely massive this map. I mean, starting from round 2 when he stuck the bomb to Vamos, yeah, Vamos, to, like, you know, he's had 2 4Ks here now. He's top of the leaderboard for the Terps, and that's exactly what we needed to get back into this game.
And that's what I was talking about. You know, he's able to flex, and, you know, with the beauty of flexing, he's also able to play his favorite character. So it does help the team, even though he may not play with the team as much and kind of just stay in the back lines and support and get as many picks as he can. And I think that's kind of the strat that we're going for here. Already knowing that the Terps are going to push into B-side with how far that Sky Flash went into. Yex is pushing in really quick. ZK1 slowly following behind. Terps falling left and right, leaving it just to Jinho and Moose. But these two are a dynamic duo, so do not get it twisted. Viper on Northwood's end getting a 3K there. Jinho getting another pick, but unfortunately loses his life inside of Hookah. Bomb is nowhere to be found, and Moose getting sprayed through that unfortunate smoke there.
Yeah, and I just have no idea how Alexander got a 3K there with that Sheriff. I mean, like, that was kind of nasty, and Northwood does get the thrifty against the Terps, and that is really, really going to hurt the Terps now in their comeback dreams. But a little bit of a bye, but it's all or nothing here for the Terps. Look at the economy.
Yeah, and we also still have 2 more maps, guys. I mean, this isn't, you know, the first time the Terps, you know, have lost a map once. We unfortunately lost Jinho so early into the round. It's not looking so hot. RIP Benji got rid of Jinho early. Alexander following behind again, getting 3 picks into the round. Benji getting his 2nd pick, his 3rd pick, actually. And we didn't make it out of Hookah.
No, we did not.
Oh my god, the body's piled.
Alexander loves to play that top box on B there. And, you know, he's just getting consistent multi-frags from that position. And Now it's really all or nothing for the Terps. Northwood on match point. Looking at the side of the Terps, they do have the mix ult, which is a kind of like a big AoE, almost like breach stun type thing.
Yeah.
Moose does have the Viper's Pit if it gets to the post plant, but looks like we're gonna pick up the pace here.
Yeah, it's now or never, as the Terps have no choice but to go ahead and start detonating all the ults that they can. Sky Cabbages running in there, and it's just bloodbath from here. I mean, we're able to actually finally get some picks down as well, but that also means that the Terps are falling at the same time. Moose trying to catch this Grim here, knowing that he's a 1 HP away from just dying, but it's slow and steady wins the race, as we just don't have that spike down yet, and we're kind of just hiding from Northwood to kind of just save ourselves in a way, which I think is the best bet so far. I mean, we're kind of running to save our lives. All we got to do is kind of get this plant down and defend it for our lives. Moose already detonating his ult there, which I like to see. I don't think I've seen it as much through this map, but hopefully we're able to kind of expand the way we're kind of playing this defense. I mean, like, you really don't know where they're coming in. I don't think that they know it's going to be both coming from CT, so I hope Moose isn't left alone in this situation.
Yeah, they heard one go through the teleporter, but do they know that there's actually no one CT? And Moose, just unfortunate timing, and Northwood dismantles the Terps, honestly, in a 6-13 fashion. Wow.
I mean, six rounds in is not as bad. I mean, that's basically, you know, half of the game. You know, we were able to get some rounds in, which is not an issue. And as you guys have seen, the Terps don't seem really beat up about it. Like Moose said earlier today, just play and have fun. And honestly, this is just more of a learning experience. I mean, you got to see how Northwood, how fast they are as a team when it comes to attacking, but you got to see how passive they were when it came to defending, but they were still able to win the round from being so passive. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the compositions there, I think that really tells the story behind Northwood's aggression in the attack. I mean, they're running that double duelist with Raze and ISO, and as well as, you know, they have the Brim. I think they also have a Sky. Yeah, they have the Sky.
Did, yeah.
So they really had the tools there to kind of really collapse on the Terps. You know, along with having like mechanical skill, I feel like you just sometimes feel really confident. You have a lot of momentum and you just swing. For the Terps, you know, they do run a chamber and a waylay, and you know, I think that might have hindered them a little bit, but I feel like the Terps still have some tricks up their sleeves. I mean, we saw them pull out the Mix there. I wonder if they're gonna use him again in this upcoming match or not. I don't know.
I do really want to see Mix get utilized a lot. I do also want to see Yex back on like a Razor Jet. Don't get me wrong, I love Waylay, but I don't know. I think I would have been more comfortable seeing Yex do more of a Raze move on Bind here, especially since how versatile, goodness, that Raze was. I mean, Bucky's, Judges, right-clicking, like it's absolutely nothing, but not to fret, guys. We are going to take a little break before we jump back in to this second maps with our Terps Premier team going against Northwood. So hang on tight, guys, and stay there, and we'll be right back.
My name is Subin Kim. My in-game name is Carrots, and I'm the controller of this team.
My name is Hannah. My IGN is Tuxedo Sam, and I play Sentinel for the team.
My name is Sima. My in-game name is Care Bear, and I'm a Flex.
My name is Megan. My IGN is Giraffe, and I'm an Initiator.
My name is Sophia. My IGN is Soap, and I'm an Initiator.
Hi everyone, I'm Ayush. My in-game name is Dulcexo, and I'm the coach.
For me, I think it was just really interesting to see like our names on like social media and like on a website. I'm just like, whoa, my name is on a website but so I think that was like the number one thing that kind of like just it brought the realization of like what kind of team I'm in, like what kind of position I'm in.
Meeting them. It's like hard to make a woman and non-binary friends in Valorant, so It's just really nice that we have like a team specifically for that.
The studio.
Yeah.
Oh, the studio.
The
Oh,
studio.
I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know that existed until like remember like when we first talked about the studio, I was like, what's that? When I first went to the room, I was like, oh, there's cameras and lighting. I'm just like, that's
Nice computer.
nice computers.
The monitors are
So
crazy.
true.
Winning.
Yeah.
Oh, so true. W winning.
Getting that.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, I feel
that
like
was pretty
That's
cool.
plastic.
hey. I would say supportive is definitely like Dusty and Rachel. Those two, just like making sure we had scrims down, making sure we had practice schedules down. Like Dusty making sure like to pick out what we did wrong, just like helping us improve. I think definitely.
Yeah, Dusty's a very present coach, so
Very.
it's like he's really reliable and helped us through the whole season.
Thanks, team.
Yeah, you'd even like schedule things for us,
Like organize all those schedules.
help us map bands and like talk to
Stats,
them
yeah.
if like realize if one of them was like unranked or something. Breaking a
Forfeit
rule,
teams.
making teams forfeit.
Maybe we don't talk about that last part.
I would also say like our fans in chat, like on
Oh,
stream and
true.
stuff. It was nice knowing
W
people
chat.
watching us.
And the haters.
Oh yeah.
Improve in the higher division.
Yeah, it is definitely more challenging because we're in a higher division now. But I think we could with our coordination. I definitely think we could. We need to bring home another one of these.
It feels great.
You
Yeah.
guys know this is the first title that Terps Esports has won.
Wait, seriously?
And by
really?
women.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Oh,
First time.
cool.
I like playing Valorant.
Have an excuse to play games.
That's true. That's good.
For me, I joined because I've always wanted to be on a women's team, especially since I got to UMD, and me and Dusty had always tried to make teams work every semester, and this was the first time it actually did work and stuck, and the people who tried out were committed. So I guess I've always just wanted to be on a women's team to connect more to that community.
To make friends.
So I had that gap, without a team for a while, and then I saw the form, and I was like, I really want to try this. This sounds fun. And then, yeah, I play Valorant too much. First of all, I did not imagine me being IGL when I first started because I am outside of my Lilac team. I am known as the no brain, only aim chamber in comp. So I did not imagine myself being IGL. But I think it's if there were some difficulties in the beginning because no one I wasn't used to giving out comms. I was just very confused. But I think now it's just the amount of trust that my teammates give me when I give out comms and the amount of coordination that we have. I just love being IGLing because I trust that things will work out.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Welcome back to the studio, everyone. If you're just tuning in, we are playing against Northwood University in a best of 3 in the PlayVS playoffs. And we just played on Bind, and Northwood did take the first map. But fear not, it is a best of 3, so the Terps do have a chance of making a comeback here on map 2.
And we're not quite sure what maps we are going into for this second and potentially this third map. Our last map was on Bind, and a little bit of a recap on, oh, actually, I just got some info that our next map is Haven. Actually, I'm a little excited for Haven. I know our Terps Premier team is actually very good at Haven. I'm expecting a little bit of a Sova move. Perhaps some Jet going on from Yex, who knows, maybe a Neon, I don't know, a Neon if you really wanted to, but either way, Haven is a pretty good map for the Terps, so hopefully they are able to take this second map home. That way we kind of have like a potential winning for our third map as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess it's important to note that, you know, even if we win this next map, we still have to win the third one, but you know, that's in the future. Let's just focus on the present. And, you know, this whole, like, playoffs, it's a single elimination bracket, Bree. And you know what that means.
I do.
If you lose, you know, the series, if you lose this next map, you're out.
You are out. And as much as we asked Moose this, you know, does that mean, like, the stakes are higher? Are you guys more nervous? He said no. I mean, he said it sucks, but nothing to be too butthurt about. And, you know, that's a good thing. It's a good thing to walk into Valorant having a good mental and not get tilted so fast. I mean, Valorant, of all games, is just a mind game. And you really don't want your mentals to get affected while you're playing the game, because it does actually, unfortunately, does affect your performance at the same time. So it's good to know that the Terps are still here with their heads held high, despite kind of getting rocked a little bit onto Bind, but not to fret. This is a new map, so, you know, a new clean slate almost.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, we did see ZK1 running that mix last map, which is the new agent. We're not going to see him run it on our side, but we are going to see the mix come out from Northwood. What are your thoughts, Bree?
I'm scared, Ryan. I'm scared. I am excited, though, for these Neon plays. I didn't quite think Yex would end up going as Neon, but he is a great Neon. He is a very fast duelist. You know, he kind of jumps around like a jelly bean against the walls. But the Cypher from Alexander, who was that Viper last game, is a very skilled player. And, you know, with a good aim, knowing that they can play Cypher must mean that their trips must be insane as well.
Yeah, for sure. Northwood starting on the attack, though. Looks like they're not immediately going to a site.
For once. For once. I mean, maybe they might get encountered here by that. Oh, wow. They already automatically knew where those mollies were. It kind of read us like a book a little bit. Moose already retreating in for that site, leaving Northwood to C site all to themselves. Moose kind of trying to do a little bit of a wraparound here, maybe walking back into CT, is able to get a pick on that ISO, finally making it first blood for the Terps, but that does not mean much if you can't get that spike diffuse. Yex is finally sliding in, getting another pick as well, but it does leave it to Jinho here on that KJ to get that pick. It is a little difficult with that Sova Dart, but unfortunately that gives Northwood the first pistol round.
Yeah, and so close. I mean, look at the health on the mix and the Sova there. I mean, the Terps, they almost had an excellent retake. I really liked, you know, Moose catching one of Northwood's players off guard, but just unable to get those finishing tags onto the players. And Northwood once again takes a pistol round, and you know, that's not a good start. It's not a good start.
Especially since it might cause a little bit of a snowball effect. I mean, pistol rounds are so important when it comes to Valorant, and you really want to make sure that you start off winning, because it can affect the way that you're going to play later on. I mean, your economy is affected. And look, already we are just bombarding this A site here. Terps again falling like flies. ZK1 on this Omen, which I like to see, is not able to get that Neon out. That Neon is holding an Outlaw, which is a kind of a Jinho kind of thing, which is kind of crazy to see on the other end of the spectrum. But hopefully Moose is able to kind of do a bit of a retake with Jinho here. I mean, what more can you do? That recon ball hitting so far. My goodness. Northwood is just good at this execution as they kind of bait one another to go onto these Terps, giving Twitch Tuesday a 3-pick already on this round.
Yeah, I mean, super unfortunate there on A short. ZK1 tried to catch the reload from the Neon, but just is unable to get that kill, and little cage throw there from Alexander. But yeah, I mean, this is really the round where it matters. The Terps haven't been, you know, haven't been thrifty yet on, like, after the second round. So we'll see what happens here. Combat Stim going to be coming out for the Neon, as we're just going to go straight into the A site.
Going straight into A site with those stuns, and an Outlaw taking Sind out in the process. Hopefully not ZK1 as well. ZK1 puts an end to that Neon's madness, but does get picked out at the same time. Getting saved by Yex, but again, Yex does get taken out, leaving both Moose and Jinho kind of holding hands here to do another CT retake. Hopefully it's not reminiscent of last round. This time they kind of have decent guns, but man, this Sova's utility just is always tagging onto these Terps, and I think that's really what's messing with them. But I guess I take that back. Jinho able to get a pick on that Sova and doesn't get hit by that dart either, but it's such a difficult way to get into the site, knowing that Northwood knows where both of you guys are watching.
Yeah, but Jinho scaling through here. So close, but Alexander just takes out the Terps, and there's the third round. There's the bonus round conversion for Northwood, and things are getting a little bit scary now.
I really hope they don't stay this scary. I feel like we just haven't gotten to see the Terps to their full potential just yet. I mean, third round is your typical buy round, of course, when it comes to Valorant. You kind of have better guns, right? You kind of start buying rifles, but we are back down to being Deagle Demons, which, you know, the Terps are. And, you know, we do have Moose getting a little bit of an Outlaw, but we do have a Neon with an Odin. So hopefully they take forever to hold that heavy gun as they run into here and get picked off. Hopefully, you can only hope, but Northwood is just claiming so much dominance onto the C site that the Terps have no choice but to wait and do a little bit of a retake and kind of prevent themselves from getting picked. But Jinho picked in the process, getting just shot through the smoke.
Yeah, I think the KJ Molly there kind of just revealed his position, but the Terps, they're fighting back. Just the Odin coming through from the Neon. The
just
slide.
A Neon slide while picking up that heavy Odin. It does wonders for you, but I'm sure that these Northwood players know that ZK1 has TP'd to the other side of our CT a little bit. I mean, unfortunately, ZK1 does walk into that bullet a little bit, but not to fret, guys. We are still early on to the round. We could win this next round, and it could turn the whole game upside down.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw ZK1 there. I mean, all smiles from him still. You know, I think in the face of adversity like this, you just have to keep your spirits high, and it looks like that's exactly what the Terps are doing. And, you know, pivoting to the actual, like, composition from Northwood, I think it's really interesting to see how the mix, because the mix can actually give, like, a stim effect to your allies, and the mix,
it just gives it to Neon
exactly
every time. As we already have Moose stunned, we also have Sova ult going off, getting Moose, and maybe might get Jinho, but it's fine. Jinho comes out with a pick as well as does Yexis, but we have Spike in our sight. So hopefully Yex is able to kind of watch that Spike before it does get picked up again by Northwood, kind of just getting baited a bit on this Cypher, but Yex has his eye on that Spike, but is kind of playing his life, and that's what's most important, especially going into a round like this against Northwood. Our Terps do get picked off. Spike is still technically down, but ZK1 gets picked off in the process.
Yeah, Alexander just so sneaky. I think he saw a little pixel between his cage and the wall, and he was able to pick out Yex there, standing in the corner. So yeah, really, really unfortunate, but honestly, a close round from the Terps.
Finally, we get a timeout here. Coming in from the Terp side, which rightfully so, I think that is a good time to do a bit of a timeout. I just want to know, if we know that Northwood are just such quick attackers, why don't we counter it by, you know, stacking or countering against their attacks? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but sometimes it's just not as simple as it sounds.
It really
I guess.
isn't, huh?
When you have a Neon running at you like 50 miles an hour, spraying with the Odin, sliding all over you, you know, it's kind of difficult. I wouldn't want to be in their situation, let's just say that. And I mean, the mix, again, like, is able to stim his allies. That's his, I don't know what ability it is, but you can either pick to stim or to heal one of your allies. Yeah.
Isn't it like a kind of a beacon almost? It's like a sky heal almost?
Yeah.
It's proximity, no?
Yeah. I think his like stun thing is also proximity.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not too sure. I haven't actually played the agent yet, but I mean, he's super fun to watch thus far. I like the color of his smokes.
No, they're like really cute. It's like glitch poppy. Like, look at Yex's glitch pop dagger here. It's kind of giving that colorway. I hope that the Terps are able to take something different, or take something new away from that, and we're finally going to see something different in this execution. I mean, look at how fast Son of Car is running onto A site here. Was able to get a pick on Sin, but Yex stops that madness as ZK1 also gets a pick himself, but Ferbsa on ISO is just going crazy, bringing our Terps down. And of course, we have the infamous Jinho and Moose left to fend for themselves in the same position that we have been left off to onto the CT. Hopefully Moose is able to at least get some picks here before they find out that he's hanging up onto heaven here. But Northwood slowly dwindling down onto the Terps. Jinho puts an end to that madness. Can he do it again? Unfortunately does not, leaving it up to Moose. But Northwood is kind of getting greedy here.
But Moose has just snuck on site.
Oh my goodness. Real gamer stick, guys. Let's not make the same mistake that we did last time. It's okay, guys. I mean, I feel like even if he did end up sticking, he probably would have died.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been really, really close. But yeah, I don't think he was able to stick that to completion. Northwood learning from their mistakes from the first map. But the Terps, man, they are really struggling here. 6-0.
You know, and I think that's what happens when you meet your match. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you know what it looks like? It looks like Northwood is kind of just having fun at this point. Why in the world would we have two Odins, guys? Like, I think they're just trying to see how much faster they can get onto these sites. I mean, look, they're choosing a new site this time, pushing onto that B site, getting as much damage as they can. Neon already running onto that site. Jinho does finally get that Neon out of the equation, but both of Northwood's players finally getting onto the Terps here, but we might actually have a shot to finally win this round, guys. Getting our first round on the board, and now everything is just quiet after all that chaos had fallen.
Ooh, nice. With a beautiful crosshair placement. And for the first time in what seems like an eternity, the Terps have the upper hand, and it's all up to this Sova to see if they can clutch it out.
And I really hope, thank goodness, Yex was able to get another Odin out of the equation. But don't forget that Northwood is very rich right now. They can most definitely afford to continue buying the same loadouts that they have been doing these past 2 or 3 rounds or so. So, you know, and I don't think that would change the way that they execute the next site. They might just go full push again.
Yeah, but hey, sometimes, you know, a comeback always starts from somewhere, and
for sure,
you know, we got 1 on the board,
and that's all that matters.
Who says we can't get 2?
And
13. I don't
know. Like, no, you're spitting, Ryan, and it's honestly looking pretty good for the Terps, considering we do have 3 ultimates online. That does not mean we might detonate it. I mean, look at how fast this Neon is. no matter how much utility you use to slow that Neon down, nothing will slow that girl down. ZK1 finally does end it for that Neon, but that does not mean the rest of Northwood could slowly follow behind. Jinho already getting ready to detonate that ult, but I hope, yep, Sova doesn't use it to break the ult. Oh my goodness, Twitch 2Z also bringing out his Odin along with Rip Benji on the Sova. They're kind of just Odin madness so far. I mean, what an unfortunate waste to Jinho's ult. You kind of already knew that Sova was going to use it to break it.
Dude, I would be so annoyed right now if
So
I had
bad.
to play against 2 Odins. I
So
can't
bad.
lie. I mean, dude, as soon as Sind got scanned by the dart, okay, Alexander, what are you doing? Alexander, it's not like, okay, whatever. As soon as Sind got scanned by the dart, Son of Car just started sprinting
A full
down,
face of Neon.
down like sewers, just hunting for Sind, and we might see a repeat of that as they look to hit A once again.
Doing it once again. Isn't quite stimmed just yet. Doesn't even get detected by the dart, which is why this Neon's so fast.
He's so fast.
Like, you hear nothing but the little slicing of Neon's feet against the ground. And of course, the Terps are stunned just a little bit with this ult, but it honestly is ending up well. We finally have that spike down, leaving it just to that Neon and that Sova. Hopefully, Yex is able to kind of catch this Sova off guard, but oh my god, with just 4 bullets, he was able to get that one crazy headshot pick, leaving it just to that Sova. We still have that spike down, but if we bombard him too much, we are going to get hit with those Odin bullets. Thank you, Moose, for ending that horrendous round there. My goodness, finally got 2 on the board here.
And that's just classic Moose, you know. Oh, he's chewing bubble gum.
Yo,
there.
he's chill.
I didn't know that. But dude, classic Moose just coming in, pushing out through that seaside, I believe. You know, getting that backstab, and you know, the Terps, that was a good round from them. They were able to kind of halt that early round aggression from Northwood and take control of the round when things got messy. So Northwood, they're gonna have their eyes set on this seaside.
Yeah, and this time they kind of have their Cypher kind of lurking behind, and here we go, doing that same C push, but this time not quite in just yet. Moose expecting that dart, but was a different Sova dart. Finally, we're able to get 2 picks off of Northwood's side, make it 3 picks with ZK1 slowly falling behind. Spike is also finally down, and here comes that Cypher treading along, but look, Terps don't quite know where this Cypher is going to come up from, and honestly, we kind of just gave him a free spike pick, which is fine. I mean, what more are you going to do? It's just Cypher alone, and against 4 of our Terps, we should just be fine.
Yeah, for sure. It's a 4v1. I mean, the win condition here is just basically don't peek him 1-by-1 and give him 1v1 aim duels. But, I mean, dude, it is Alexander. This guy has been pretty nasty. Here are the Terps, like, laughing outside right now. They're having fun with it. ZK1 spots Alexander, takes him out. And the Terps now, they're getting some momentum. They are putting numbers on the board.
Finally getting to put numbers on the board. I'm not quite sure what differently they did for this C push. I mean, it looked like a typical Northwood, you know, full, like, fast push. But I don't necessarily know what happened to kind of slow them down.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I mean, it's just the Terps playing solid, right? Moose, what a player. Getting 3 on that C site. They kind of lined up for him. He also was expecting the Sova dart, so that's good awareness from him as well.
But it just doesn't help that it was kind of a different Sova dart, which, I mean, of course, as a Sova, you can't have the same darts. Neon finally getting it to her. Yexus is finally able to use his Neon abilities, but is kind of being a little passive on it. We do have Moose's Molly kind of blocking the way in a way, but that does not stop Yexus from just playing it safe and not necessarily peeking, but is just kind of taking pushing as much damage out as he can without getting damaged himself. And honestly, that's just as fine. Ferbsa getting as much damage as he can onto ZK1. ZK1 is 1 cough away from losing his life. So hopefully with this retake that's about to happen, we are able to kind of do it smoothly here. Now that we finally have all players to do a retake.
Yeah, I mean, 4v5 here. The Terps, in theory, should be favored. And they have positions noted as well.
I feel like it was maybe a little too late to do a little bit of wraparound. Moose doing a trade there. But guys, don't forget that we do have to defuse that bomb. And getting onto this A site from CT is literally the worst thing you could ever do. Look at the Terps slowly inching up as much as they can. Jinho does lose his life in the process. Yex is just trying to be like that Neon and get out there. Sind is able to get a pick himself, but wasn't enough to take home that round for the Terps.
Yeah, and dude, that mix, like, AoE, like, stun thing, it really puts stall into that retake. I mean, the Terps were just stuck behind that piece of utility, and I think Moose, you know, we were highlighting him, but I feel like he was a little bit too quick to the trigger there, just jumping out of heaven before his teammates, you know, were even considering to leave and retake onto that ace side. He did get one, though, so maybe it was fine. But yeah, like the Terps, 3-8 now. Can they make it 4?
Hopefully it could be like a 8-4 curse, 9-3 curse. We can only hope, but let's see how this Neon is going to take onto this B site. We haven't quite seen Northwood kind of just lock into this B site, but now that they're here, they're just going to take it and defend this site with their lives. Hopefully ZK1 doesn't get caught in the process. He has a better gun than that Neon, so hopefully, and ZK1 did lose. Just so many ults getting detonated here, and we're not even on the site as the Terps. We are unfortunately just getting pushed farther back and back as Moose also gets pushed back too far and got lost in the sauce.
Yeah, and just like a repeat of the first map, the Terps are once again down 3-9 after the first half. And, you know, they're on the attack now. Yex is on that Neon. But, you know, can they break through Alexander's defenses? You know, can they, you know, get this pistol round win and possibly start the comeback?
And, you know, I do really want to see how Yex plays Neon. We've seen him play Neon amazing, and I've played a game with Yex myself, and he was Neon and Odining before, and it was the worst thing ever. So hopefully maybe we can see it here, but I think they have to take a page out of Northwood's book and get some dominance by going onto the site real fast. I mean, defaulting can't make you do that.
Yeah, but look at the aggression coming out from Northwood. Son of Car just completely disrespecting the Terps and pushing out of garage there. And he's not looking behind him, so Moose is able to take him out, but it's so chaotic right now.
So chaotic indeed, Ryan. Spike is down, ZK1's in Cubby. Everybody's doing a little bit of a line dance here, trying to get onto ZK1. ZK1, please. He does get a pick in the process, but that does make Northwood at 10 rounds in, going against 3 for the Terps.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Son of Car, this guy's just running it down. He doesn't have a care in the world.
He has somewhere to be.
Yeah, I guess, bro.
Like,
he's trying to finish this thing up fast.
I really can't. I mean, Neon players are just so something.
They
They're
are
something.
so something, yeah.
I just hate to see that Yex isn't able to finally, you know, kind of use his Neon abilities. I know he's a great Neon. It just sucks that he has to go against somebody who is much more Jumpin' Jelly Bean-ish against him. So we don't really get to see what Yex can do, but we know that he can do it. So fortunately, does get picked off again. Held back almost by that Cypher trip there, making the Terps kind of retreat almost, but that does not stop that Neon from slowly following them. I mean, there's no way to look back now, guys. I mean, Northwood is already following your steps. You got to commit.
And just look at this. Aggression from, you know, the front lines, but also aggression from behind. ZK1, the last things he heard in his ears were Son of Car just running up on him.
Bang! Oh, no, yes. Okay, me and Ryan, we can hear the Terps kind of laughing it up right now. I'm sure that they're not taking it to heart.
No.
They are having just as much fun as this Neon is also having as much fun.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't even know, guys. I'm so speechless.
No, yeah, it's hard. I mean, dude, look at Tuzi. This guy is like an assist farmer or something.
Oh
he
my
has
god, 18
assists, and I'm pretty sure he was playing Brimstone on the first map, and he also had like an insane amount of assists. So props to him, I guess.
props to him. But Yex, I want to see you move. And look at this. This
He's
this
moving.
is Yex moving.
He is moving.
Boom! No!
No!
Spike down.
Yex! Okay. Note to
Oh my
self.
goodness. How do you hit this?
Like,
how are you supposed to hit that?
even
like-
the turret couldn't hit that. Like,
Yeah.
Jinho with the Aries in a
Oh
dream.
my goodness.
Crouch and just spray Jinho.
Oh! I mean, he got the kill, I guess.
And honestly, that's all it takes because that neon, I need that neon to like, I couldn't even tell you. Son of Kar, you are truly an amazing player, but please let go of the Judge and the Odin.
Yeah.
We beg. I mean, okay. Last round, guys.
All right, lock in, guys. Lock in.
Lock in. I mean, even if we get a round, you know, chances are we might not be able to get the next, 8 missing rounds to win or go to OT, but let's just play the game, guys. Let's just play the game. Of course, Yex hanging out with his glitch pop Judge. My goodness, look at how fast that neon is going into window. And oh!
Okay, thank God.
Jinho, thank you. Tuzi kind of getting stunned at his own teammate there. Yex finally does lose his life against Alexander, mind you, just by sitting in the middle of grass, leaving the last round to ZK1 to not necessarily take it home for us, but to kind of
Take us to 4.
yeah, take us to 4.
Take us to
maybe.
4, ZK1. Take us to 4. But no one finds you.
He was right behind you, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Well,
Nice
GG's,
try,
guys.
guys.
GG's,
Yeah, GG's.
going against Northwood University. Of course, the Terps have so many smiles on their faces. Sind, of all people, also having a smile on his face. And honestly, guys, GG's.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the real victory were the friends we made along the way.
You know, and that's all that Valorant is about, guys. Playing collegiate, going against, you know, a well-decorated collegiate university such as Northwood.
Yeah.
Making friends.
And you know, okay, let's be serious for a second. The Terps had an amazing regular season.
They did.
They went 8-1 in the regular season in their conference, and they ranked number 1 in the conference. It was honestly just a little bit unlucky that they were seeded up against Northwood University. By the way, who were the 2 teams that beat this?
Literally
I don't know.
who? Like, they had to be like a forfeit or something.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I mean, the Terps, you know, unable to get through that finish line, but that's okay. You know, that's all right.
So does that officially mean we're knocked out?
You know, Bree, that means that we're knocked out of the PlayVS, but the Terps are not done yet because this weekend they will be competing at the Bloom LAN at George Mason University. You know, and it's not just the Valorant Premier team. You know, it's going to be the League of Legends Premier team and also the Overwatch Academy team. So, you know, if you're going to be around the area, maybe come by and support. But if not, you know, there will be streams of the Bloom LAN. So support virtually that way as well.
Yeah, and maybe if you don't like our premier team, our academy team will also be there. So, I mean, if we're not your style, our academy team is most definitely your style as well. But anyways, we will have more streams with the academy team here at Terps Esports. So don't forget about them either. And we will get to see some crazy matchups. And hopefully they don't get to run into a team like Northwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, here is our amazing Terps Esports Premier team doing such an amazing job. They are ready to go home. They have done as much as they can. Oh my gosh, sorry,
Bye, guys.
yes,
Hey.
hard to. But yeah, thank you again, guys, for coming to watch tonight. I know it wasn't that long of a stream, but we did enjoy your guys' presence. Hopefully we get to see you guys soon. But before we leave, do not forget about that GMU Bloom LAN, and we would also like to thank a couple of our sponsors. We do want to thank the Philip Merrill College of Journalism and RecWell, Recreation and Wellness Center here at the University of Maryland. And we would also like to thank our last sponsor, PlayWire. So thank you again, guys. My name has been Bree.
I'm Ryan.
And we will see you guys next time. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.